13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
If you think it's cold now, you just wait. This cold front going to potentially bring some of the coldest air of the season. I'll have those details for you coming up.
Plus, a fire destroys a home in Elko, and now investigators try to figure out what caused it. How one family tries to recover after losing everything. And tax cuts could come to servicemen and women, the exemption Georgia's governor proposes, and where it's already getting a lot of support.
The 4th and 5th graders at Burdell Hunt Elementary School are getting something very special, and I'm going to tell you what it is and why.
Well, good morning. Happy Friday. We have made it to the end of the week. That is always something to celebrate. The time is 6:30 on this January 28th. I'm Caitlin Heck. Of course, as we are now getting closer to the weekend, we are getting closer to those frigid temperatures on the way, Courtney.
That's right, yeah. So everyone just gear up for it. I know for the past week, you've probably had your coats and your hats and you've been heating up the car. Well, you are definitely going to need to do that over the weekend, and we'll talk about that in full detail a little bit later. Right now, 32 in the city of Macon. You're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navison. A few people already making their way out the door this morning. If you're about to do so, probably not a bad idea to go heat up the car. Keep it nice and warm for you as you get ready to head out for this last day of the work and school week. We're at 32 in Warner Robins, 31 in Gordon, 33 in Forsyth, 35 in Montezuma, 32 down in Eastman, and 34 in Wrightsville. So area-wide, low to mid-30s for the start of the day. We have mostly cloudy skies here at home, waiting on this cold front, already bringing some winter weather even to parts of northwest Georgia. For us, maybe a stray shower as we go through the day. Otherwise, do expect mostly cloudy skies to persist. We'll be in the upper 40s by lunchtime, and then the wind is going to pick up for that ride home. We're going to talk about how windy will be, but most importantly, how that wind is going to make us feel very, very cold as we head into tomorrow morning. Those details are in just a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Courtney. A Houston County family works to pick up the pieces after a fire destroyed their home. Another arrest made in connection to a Macon homicide from last year. And we have more information in the case of a Vienna mom and her missing 4-year-old son. Let's catch you up on 3 things you need to know right now. A family tries to move on after losing their home and everything in it over the weekend. Early Sunday morning, the Houston County Fire Department responded to a 911 call in Elko. Homeowner Paula Hill says she, her son, and 2 dogs were all asleep when she woke up and smelled smoke. When she opened the door, she saw a room full of smoke and flames. Both she and her son escaped through a bedroom window, but her dogs were trapped. Hill says she did not have home insurance. If you would like to help the family, we do have a link to their GoFundMe account in this story on 13WMAZ.com. Fire Chief Christopher Stoner says they're still working to figure out what caused the flames. And a 3rd person now faces a charge after a deadly November shooting in Macon. The Bibb Sheriff's Office says members of the U.S. Marshals Task Force and Clayton County deputies served a warrant for 21-year-old Lucky Uda of Stone Mountain. Investigators charged him with murder. The shooting happened November 23rd during a reported drug deal in the parking lot of a Macon motel on Riverside Drive. Bibb deputies say the victim, 27-year-old Chauncey Love II, and 2 other men drove up from Florida for a marijuana deal. The Sheriff's Office says during the deal, people Love was meeting with shot him. A Fulton County man and Hampton man also face charges in that case. And we now know more about a case out of Vienna as a mom faces a murder charge in connection to her 4-year-old son's disappearance. The GBI announced that charge against 27-year-old Kira Cotton earlier this week after reporting the discovery of human remains in Crisp County. The GBI and Vienna police held a joint news conference yesterday. The police department says last week DFACS contacted them saying that they were looking for Cotton. They tried several times to visit her, but then got police involved. Police say family members suspected Cotton was abusing her 2 kids. They got a search warrant and arrested her Monday in Crisp County. Vienna's police chief says Cotton told officers where to find the remains of her son. Jason Mathis. Their remains found in Crisp County are now at the GBI Crime Lab, which will confirm whether it is the child. And now to headlines from across the state. Atlanta police arrested a 2nd person in connection to the shooting death of a 6-month-old. Police say Sharice Ingram turned herself in on Wednesday. She is charged with aggravated assault and felony murder following the death of Grayson Fleming. Earlier this week, police arrested 22-year-old Quasi Little, also charging him with aggravated assault and felony murder in the case. The arrests come after the death of baby Grayson Fleming. Atlanta police say the 6-month-old was in a car when a bullet hit him during a drive-by shooting Monday afternoon. The baby was not the intended target. A Fulton County grand jury indicted 3 people for allegedly setting fire to a Wendy's where the shooting death of Rayshard Brooks happened. The indictment shows that John Wade, Natalie White, and Chisholm Kingston faced 2 counts of arson and 1 count of conspiracy to commit arson. The fire happened during the protests in June of 2020 following Brooks' death. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis says they recognize and will protect the right of people to protest, but cannot tolerate violence like arson. Governor Brian Kemp's proposing tax breaks for veterans and for active duty military. He met yesterday with a group of veterans and local Central Georgia leaders at the Vector Training Center in Warner Robins.
These men and women are dedicated their lives to a cause greater than themselves.
The governor proposed a $17,500 tax exemption for those on active duty and the same amount for retirees working jobs after the military. The proposal will start in the Georgia House, where Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan says it is already getting strong support.
Anything we can do to keep military members that come here in their military service time to then continue to call Georgia home, raise their families, start their business, launch their second careers, we want to be a part of that.
And many view the legislation as an attempt to make Georgia more competitive when it comes to keeping veterans in the state instead of moving to surrounding states that don't tax military retirement benefits. Well, today, Robbins Air Force Base will open up a new commercial vehicle gate. The base says that gate will improve processing speed, allow more capacity, and have screening points for checking visitor credentials and cargo. The gate also adds a queuing space for vehicles to get in line without backing up traffic on Highway 247. The base will hold a ribbon cutting at 11 this morning. Looking ahead, if you have an old trash or recycling bin in Macon, you'll soon have an extra way to get rid of it. The county says you can drop off any non-Ryland environmental bins at the convenience center on 11th Street starting tomorrow. The center is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. They do ask that you check the logo before you drop off your bins. Also, make sure they're empty. The county says Waste Management will still collect old bins from your house as well. Just leave it empty on the curb on your normal collection day. And this weekend is going to be a chilly one, and it will be especially cold for some Central Georgians who don't have a home to keep them out of the cold. But one organization says they want to help. Jake Farrow is the executive director of the Loaves and Fishes Ministry of Macon. He says they got funding from Atrium Health Navicent to start a program called Welcome Home. The money helped the ministry place 67 homeless seniors in temporary homes so far. Normally, Loaves and Fishes serves meals to the homeless and provides them with items for the winter months like sleeping bags, blankets, and gloves. Farrow says when the cold snap hit, he got a call from someone saying the old Greyhound bus station in Macon had people who needed help.
Then we went over and took a look at the situation at the Greyhound bus station. It was deplorable to see people, as many as 12, maybe 13, sleeping in the elements at temperatures below freezing.
Farrow says when they started the Welcome Home program, a lot of people came looking for help. Right now they have 14 rooms at the Macon Inn, sheltering 26 people. They hope to build on that number in the future. We do have more information in this story on 13WMAZ.com if you want to contribute to the Welcome Home program. And animal shelters are also preparing for the weekend's cold temperatures. All About Animals Rescue in Macon recently asked for volunteers to house dogs over the weekend because of those cold temperatures. Their Facebook post was met with a flood of people asking to house the dogs, so they took the post down. The shelter is happy that they got such a great response, but they also see it as an opportunity to educate pet owners about keeping your furry friends safe and warm during the winter. So here are some tips. Make sure that you warm and wipe their paws and noses when you're returning from outdoors. Short-haired dogs might need a sweater. If there are community cats in your area with no owner, you can easily make a shelter for them with a plastic tub. And if you see a pet left outside, let the owner know. Now, as we deal with the cold weather here in Central Georgia, we want to know how you are planning to stay warm. Let's check out the photos you've sent in. Gracie Lou, you have the right idea, all snuggled up in that blanket. Chiquita sent in this picture of King staying warm right on Mama's blanket. How cute. Susan says Spanky keeps warm in front of the fireplace. They got the right idea there. I like that name too, Spanky. And Michelle says they love using their outdoor fire pit to stay warm. All good options. Now, whether it's a hot cup of coffee, sitting by the fire, or just cuddling with your pet, we want to see how you are going to keep warm this winter. Text your photos to 478-752-1309. Again, text 478-752-1309. You might just see your pictures right here on 13 WMAZ. The time is now 6:39. Those pets have the right idea. Just cuddled up under the blankets, nice and warm.
Yes, and they already have fur, so, you know, they don't have to worry about like putting on jackets. Although we did say another tip, if you have a short-haired animal,
yes,
a jacket might be a good idea to keep them toasty.
My parents recently had to shave their dog because we had some mats on him, so they had to buy her all these sweaters for the cold.
I bet she looks completely different. I'm gonna have to see a picture of that poor dog. Yeah, everyone, you are gonna want to stay warm, of course, pets included. Now, something about the fire pits. We do have a fire weather warning this weekend, or a fire weather watch, excuse me, in effect for tomorrow. It will go into effect tomorrow. So you're going to want to be very careful if you are burning anything outdoors. And honestly, I would advise against it. As much as a fire this weekend is going to sound wonderful and very welcoming, probably a good idea to not do that. And we'll talk about why in just a second. Right now, as you're getting ready to head out the door, we have to get through Friday first before we can get to the weekend. Although I don't know if you want the weekend to come. It's going to be very, very cold. 34 right now in the city of Perry. Still a cold start to the day. You're looking live on top of the Fairgrounds and Agri Center. Area-wide, low to mid 30s, 32 in Macon and in Warner Robins, 36 in Montezuma, 32 in Eastman, 31 in Gordon, and 33 up in Monticello. So no matter where you're waking up with us, low to mid 30s. It's cold. Have the coat with you. And it's going to get colder as this cold front that's currently to our north, already bringing some winter weather to parts of the southeast, pushes into our area. Not going to offer us any kind of winter weather, but it's going to sure feel like winter behind it. Right now, as you're getting ready to head out the door, no rain to be found, just mostly cloudy skies, and of course it's cold out there for the start of your morning. Let's time out that cold front as we head through the day today. We'll stay dry through the morning, maybe just a stray shower as we head into the evening tonight. We're going to put a 10% rain chance on the 7-day just in case we get a stray shower out of this, but for the most part we'll be dry and mostly cloudy. Now notice what's going to get close to us, an area of low pressure, and we've talked about this before. The closer you get to that center of circulation, the windier it's going to be, and boy are we going to be windy. It's not going to be enough for any kind of wind advisory criteria, but I'm going to take you through some numbers in a second. Behind this front, very cold air, maybe some winter weather in parts of North Georgia and the higher elevations. I don't anticipate any here. I think we're just going to be cold and very windy. Now starting at 4 o'clock, the front is going to start to clear the area and we're going to start to pick up our wind. So for that ride home today from work and school, both hands on the steering wheel today, very important. Wind speeds or wind gusts will be anywhere between 15 to 20 as we head into the afternoon. Our highest wind gust values will be on the way in the late evening. Here's 10 o'clock, anywhere between 25 to maybe upwards of 35 mile per hour wind gusts. And we are going to keep the wind gust values very high, maybe upwards of 30 miles per hour into the coldest point of the day tomorrow. So not only is it going to be extremely cold, but it's going to be very windy. So that means it's going to feel a lot colder. Starting tonight, if you're a night owl hanging out late outside, temperatures are going to be in the 20s, or it's going to feel more like the 20s at that point. And as we head into early tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like the single digits in Rome, and it's going to feel more like the teens here at home in central Georgia. I rhymed without even planning on it. All right, now with that fire danger, of course, it's going to be windy, humidity is going to be low, so put those two things together. It's not safe to burn outside, so just try and be careful if you are doing that. Again, I would advise against it. Temperatures will warm, though, back into the 60s by the start of next week.